Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Make sure this is working properly. Welcome to my live stream where I am going to be continuing, I should say, my Be Amazed quilt top. This is a free pattern that I designed that you can get on the Baby Lock website. It's also in the description below for this chat. You can get it there, but download and sew with me. Hi, Sharon from Massachusetts. Thanks for letting me know I sound okay. Just never know. I hope everybody had a very good week. Today I'm going to be working on um, cutting my blocks. So last week I made all of my strip sets. You need 12 strip sets for this pattern. And so today I'm going to be cutting those strips and assembling my blocks. And then hopefully we'll see how far I get tonight. But then by next week, all I'll have to do is sew the sashing and the blocks into rows to make it. And then, borders come after that. Hi, Joan from British Columbia. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Hi, Julianne from Georgia, where it's probably nice and warm. Today it was in the 50s, so today it was seasonal for Colorado. But I don't know if the rest of the country is experiencing a hot streak, a hot winter like we are here in Colorado. So tomorrow and Sunday for the weekend, it's going to be back up to the upper 80s or in the 80s. Isn't that crazy for uh, this kind of weather? So, okay, I'm going to get started cutting my, oh wow, 86. Whew, feels nice and toasty in Georgia. I'm going to switch this camera here and come to my cutting. So, if you're making this pattern with me, or you probably might be just sewing your own project, which is completely fine. So last week, like I say, I did all of these strip sets. I made 12 of them. It measured 6.5 inches. And now I'm going to cut all of these into 6.5 inch pieces. So I need 72 6.5 by 6.5 inch pieces out of all of this. Last week I did test a few of them. So I cut up a portion, but that's what I'm going to be doing right now. Hi, Kenny from Jackson, Mississippi. Thank you for being here, you guys. It's so nice to have you. Really appreciate you. Okay, because I am an impatient type of quilter, I'm going to cut multiple layers, multiple strip sets at once. And I think I'm going to go with 3 strip sets at a time. Throw these back here out of the way. And I did measure my strip sets, and they do equal 6.5. Yeah, it might be just a skosh under, which could be I just didn't press it good enough or something, but basically, yeah, 6.5 inches wide is what you want, because these have to match up with your background blocks that are 6.5 by 6.5. So let's layer. Do you guys layer when you're cutting, or do you do all of your pieces one at a time, or your strips one at a time? This one, my third one, and I just line it up so it's even on both sides all the way down. I might have to readjust a tiny bit as I'm cutting. Kenny definitely layers. Yeah, it just saves so much time. We want to get done as fast as we can so we can move on to other projects. So I'm just going to snip off my, line that up with one of these lines and snip off my selvage. Let's see. And I will be able to get 6 from this strip set. I'm just going to line that up with my cutting mat. Sharon, you do both layer and cut single? Yeah, it kind of does all depend on what you're doing. Depends on how your hands are feeling, Linda. I understand that. Okay. Double check, make sure I'm at the edge. 6.5. Just so you know, I'm really bad at math. So a lot of times when I'm cutting my strip sets, and if I need like, you know, uh 6.5 or 7.5 inch pieces or whatever, I will sometimes just write it all out on paper. Okay, I'll do like 6.5, then 13, and so forth, like that, because when I'm cutting, I just want to make sure that I'm getting that measurement. I'm going to do that here real quick. 6.5, 13. I'm horrible. So, yeah. Math was never my strong suit. And I design patterns, and I sometimes the math can be a little bit therapeutic if it's like easy, but yeah. Kenny says, you agree with Sharon, Kenny? Sometimes you can't layer depending on the project. Hi, Evelyn from Ohio. Thanks for being here. I'm just cutting out my strip sets. 19.5, 26 plus 6.5, 32.5. Okay, 13, 19. Is that right? 19.5. Yep. Okay. Okay, so I cut the first at 6.5. Next is 13 inches. Next is 19.5. 19. And then 26. 6. It's gonna wanna fall. 32. Is that 26? Oh, 32.5. And I checked that. 32.5. Oh, it's kind of off my table. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I just need one more. Messed this one up in the layering. It's awful crooked. I'll just give it a little bit of wiggle room. Sometimes I'm more of the close enough works for me type of thing. And sometimes I tend to overcut. I think I'm doing like 6.5 and I'll get like just a fraction over because I'll think I'm a little off and then my pieces don't line up. Okay, so there's my 6 for those. I will just continue on with the other colors that I drew on the floor. Hi, Norma. Thanks for being here. Okay, next 3. Probably even do more than, that's all right. I don't want to push it and get things too uneven. When I'm doing little squares, like 3 inches or 2.5 inches, well, I guess I don't layer those on top of each other. I kind of stagger them across my entire cutting mat. So what are you guys working on, sewing on tonight? If you're not doing this project, what have you got going on? Isn't that fabric pretty, Kenny? It's from Moda. It's called Strawberry Lemonade. It was it Bonnie and Camille? I can't remember the designers, but I know that it's called Strawberry Lemonade. Hey, Lisa from Indiana. Welcome. Glad to have you. 6.5. I decided that with all of my extra um, strips, because I've got several left over from the jelly roll, I'm gonna sew those in strip sets and then cut them down to 3.5 inches for my outer border. So I'll have instead of a solid border and trying to get some matching fabric, I'm just going to do a solid strip pieced border. Ooh, safari baby quilt. That sounds fun. Hi, Sue. Thanks for being here. Hi, Julianne. You got your grandson's quilt top finished, and we'll put it on the long arm tomorrow. So, working on a counted cross stitch baby sampler. Oh, cool, for a physical therapist. I have not, I tried cross stitch when I was younger because one of my friends did it. So I thought, ooh, I can do that. But oh, the patience. I don't think I finished a single project. So, that is not my calling. I just admire it from afar. They're pretty, but I don't know, maybe I'll try it again at some point in my life. Have 6. this one off. Oops, that's a little crooked. Off. Whoa. I think I need a bigger trash can. I don't usually keep my little scraps. Where did I put? Oh, okay. Last. Oh, I have more than I thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay. See, I can't even count. Maybe I should have. That'll work. Oops. Okay. I can tell these are kind of not completely quarter inch seams because I do see some overhang there, but good enough. Oops, that's straight. Anxious to start sewing and see what this looks like as it's coming together. Wow, Julianne, you did something for everyone in your family for Christmas? It says while you were in, it says, well, oh, while you were in college? So that's a feat. So paranoid that I'm going to cut the wrong measurement. 26. And I do have enough fabric strips left over if I cut them. That's way off. More. I guess I could even save some of these if I, because the border is 3.5. What does this equal? Ooh, I could get 3.5 out of some of these leftover strips for my outer border. Oh, so I guess I should take those out of the trash. I'm just being wasteful by cutting more. Julianne asks if I can use my stripology ruler for this. Yeah, I could. I usually only use it for like the 2.5 inch strips because they're smaller. Um, yeah, I'll try it on the next one. Make it, I don't have very many. These are like half, one of them is. But yeah, that would have been a good idea. And maybe if I laid them out like side by side or something, or um, two into pairs side by side, that might have gone even a little bit quicker. Oh, that's the shortest one, so you put that on top. I do have my stripology roller handy, so I'll give it a try. I know that that ruler can do more than what I use it for, but I basically got it because I like making strip quilts. So I have one quilt pattern that has 1 3/4 inch strips that you cut. It's called Hum a Few Bars and comes in really handy for that. So I like to make the smaller strips. Let me cut this even first and then I guess I don't even need to do that. I could just put the ruler. Scoop this up. So 3.5. See, I'm left-handed. I guess I can still cut from this side. I'm so used to cutting from over here and going right to left with my left hand, and with the stripology ruler, all the numbers start on the left hand side, but I guess it's okay. I could still do that. I'm not gonna be able to get very many cuts out of this because um yeah, I won't get as many, but let's do some. I got it lined up there. Just start here on 0. Or wait, 3.5 or 6.5. See, I was almost gonna cut 3.5. 13. So I can only get 3 cuts out of this one. So if it goes into there, it'll slide. So 6.5 is right here. And then 13. And then 19.5. Yeah, so I only get three cuts out of this if I use my stripology, which is okay, but um, then I have to move it. It didn't cut through. There we go. That's why I like it for the um, smaller cuts. This one is one that I had already cut some, so I should be able to get one more out of this top fabric. Half. Nineteen. 19. Cool. Oh, okay. It's extra. Okay. Now let's jumble these and form some blocks. I'll use my rotary cutter for a while. Don't need that. And for the pattern, it calls for 6.5 by 6.5 inch squares. The background squares. Fabric B. Stripology out of the way. So let's put some together. I think, Julianne, you're asking if I can flip Nope. Flip the ruler and do the numbers on the back, but the numbers, well, they kind of show through. The numbers are in these white spaces on the back, so it's hard to see through that. That shows up very well on camera, but maybe if I go this way. Yeah, so it would be kind of hard to see if I did it backwards for my left-handed brain or upside down. Okay. So for the next step, we make a bunch of these units that are one rail fence going horizontal, one going vertical, and one going horizontal, and then we stitch those together. And I need to make 18 of these strip units, those 3-piece rail fence strip units. I need 18 of those. So I'm gonna just mix that one, this one. I don't know if I like those greens together side by side, even though they're slightly different. So that's all there is. You have to make 18 of these units. Horizontal, vertical, horizontal. Then line. Is that all there is? 18 plus 9 of those. Let me count. I got to count on my quilt. Even though I made this pattern, I still have to look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, okay. 18 of these. So I think the easiest thing to do is to just go ahead and start. I'm going to just layer a bunch of them. I wonder if, so that I have 18 in each stack, and then I can sew them together in pairs and then the last ones individually. So I'll just randomly, don't put those two together. Because that's in that. This is going to get persnickety here because I'm like, well, I don't want that one next to that one. And, oh, the games. Yeah, so I should just be able to layer all of these. And then I won't have any more left over. Oops. One in there. Yeah. I feel like I'm taking way too much time doing this. And then once I start to sew them together, I'll probably forget the order or something and have them backwards when I go to sew my last units together. I want to gingham in that row. Green. This one. Okay, I need to just stop being so picky and just layer these out, lay them out. Oops, that way. Like I'm getting a lot of those gingham checks in the same spot. I don't know, maybe not. Um, let's go this way. Oh, getting a lot of the same lines here. I think I have one. Do I have an extra one? Hmm. Okay, I think I might have to just got to count, make sure I have 18 in each stack. Then I can sew them together. Oh, Julianne, the Sharpie thing. Um, yeah, well, I usually am okay with the Stripology ruler. It's just that doing it for the camera, well, no, I don't know. I did have to draw lines on my cutting mat because all the lines started on the left, all the numbers started on the left-hand side. And even if I switched it around, the numbers still started on the left-hand side. So somebody needs to make a ruler or a cutting mat that is starts. I know there are some that start on the left-hand side for left-handed people. So, okay, 1, 2. 13, 14. That one has selvage in it. Darn it. And it's got more than 18. How did I miscount so badly? I was just throwing these into stacks and I thought I was counting as I went. Oh my gosh. Well, that's 18. Six. How on earth did I end up with so many? I counted these. I had 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most peculiar that I can't count. I think I might have made an extra strip set. Maybe that's why I have so many left over. I think that's what I did. Okay. Yeah, because oh, never mind. I know what I did. I was getting ahead of myself. I need 18 of them, and then all of these ones go for the middle units with the background squares. Crisis solved. Now it's time to start stitching these together. Hi, Sheila. By chance, did you combine rows 1 and 2? Yeah, I think that was definitely it because I was thinking, why do I have all these for row 1? Yeah, or 1 and 3 basically. So 2 was the background square row. So that's what I did wrong. Kenny, what brand sewing machine am I using? This is a Baby Lock Lyric. Um, I'm a Baby Lock gal because I'm a Baby Lock ambassador. So I have the Lyric for my sewing machine. I have the Regent for the sit down, and then back here I have the Gallant XL for the long arm. Okay, now that I have these 2 rows that I'm going to sew together, or these 2 pieces, I'm going to layer these in pairs so that I can strip sew all of them together, strip piecing, whatever you call it. So I'm just going to layer each of these. And the nice thing about that is you don't have to worry about matching any seams right now. Isn't that fantastic? Oh, now that I think about it, I should be okay. I started wondering, oh no, am I going to have enough mismatched blocks for the center row with the background square? I should. It's only 2 per block. So I'm just going to layer these in pairs, 18 pairs. Yeah, TNT Fitness says I don't have to break out the seam ripper because it wasn't a mistake yet. I know, plus the seam ripper is all the way over there. So I don't want to have to get up and get it. For heaven's sake. Uh-oh. Dang it, is this one too? This one looks like I cut. This one looks a little small. Well, shoot. Gonna go with it. I can fudge it. I don't know what I did there. Try to be as careful as you can, and then you still, even though you measure several times before you cut, it'll work out. I think it's my piecing. Sometimes when I'm sewing, I don't, you know, the seam kind of moves underneath the needle and I don't get that exact 1/4 inch in spots, and Again, close enough is good enough for me. Oh, here's another one. I wonder if it's that same strip set. Just scoot that over some. Yeah, whenever I chain piece, inevitably, I always screw up and forget, okay, was that did I start at the top or am I matching from the bottom? And I always seem to confuse myself. I don't know why. It's just something in my brain when I start strip piecing these together that I always get confused for some reason. Penny, am I happy with the Baby Lock brand? Yes, I am. I really, I really like my machines. I love, love, love that sit down machine. That's I was a sit down quilter first, so I do find that I struggle with the long arm. I don't think I'm as proficient as I would like to be on the long arm as I was with the sit down machine, which just means I need to practice more. And I do plan to put something on there hopefully this weekend because I need to do a video on how I baste with pool noodles. And I promised somebody that I would get that out this weekend. And so I have a quilt that needs basting, but I'm not sure. I might still do it on my sit down machine. It's just easy. And I don't get frustrated when my stitches don't look how they're supposed to. So, but yeah, I like Baby Lock. Okay, so I've got these all done. So I'm just gonna stitch all these into pairs. It's like a whole eighth of an inch or so smaller, but I'm gonna have to do some creative pulling when I go to put my rows together. It's crazy. I am happy though that the days are getting longer and more. We switched our clocks, and now that we get more daylight, so I'm happy about that. Oh, what it is with this one? Either I cut one row too big, or I cut one. That's like a whole quarter inch. Look at that. That's the overage. So I think I mismeasured, but just scoot this over a little bit and try to compensate. That is just, well, that's definitely 6.5. Yeah, I think I cut one of these 6.25, one of the strips, something. I think it's got a little stretch in here. Yep. Definitely that strip that has the green and white gingham on it that so okay. I've got all these. I'm just gonna snip those apart. Oh, I don't know where my little I don't know if it's in here. Too many drawers. I don't know what's darn it. I was gonna make a little clipping thing with my seam ripper, but I don't know what I did with the shoot. Oh well, that's all right. This is where I always get confused. This is where I always screw up is I ended with the last strip and then I'm going to cut all these and put those one on top of the other, but I feel like I always get them mixed up. Or like when you're um, making your strips and sewing like your pieces into rows and keeping the string connected on each of them as you sew on the next one. I've tried doing that technique and I don't know what the trick is, but I always get it twisted. My threads twisted and some of the rows won't be right. So it looks cool, but it's just something that I have not been able to master. Don't know why. I should go that way. I'm getting confused again. That goes that way. This went that way. Oh, Kenny says probably she's the same happens with her because we are left-handed. It's totally possible. Sharon says she can't do it. You either, it's very confusing. You have little notes to pin to everything. Yeah, Norma, I do the same. So I made stickers and pinned to the top rows and columns. It helps me so far. Yeah, that's a good idea. I hardly ever make myself little sticky notes unless I have like a gazillion pieces, but I should probably do that so that I'm not so confused. This goes this way. It's nice to know it's not just me. Because when you see videos and tutorials of people doing that, I'm like, oh, that looks easy and it looks cool when they're all sewn together and nice, just hanging by a string. Okay, these are done. This one goes this way. So make sure these are all facing the right direction. So I do not have to rip anything out. Okay, now I'm gonna open these up and sew them to the left side strip. Guess I should turn these around. See, that's where I get confused. It's like, should I turn it around and then, because I gotta sew this direction. Just, I'll just keep it confusing for myself. Nope, I should do that. So this one will go here. I think I have it right. But inevitably I'll get done with everything and I'll be like, how did those two like fabrics get right next to each other? Because I certainly didn't do that. That here. Oops. This way. I bet you guys are talking to yourself too, but I just can't hear it. I have not tried those alphabet clips. I just recently bought some those little clippies to use instead of pins. I just bought some of those like this past December. I have not ever used those. So I was making duffel bags and they were so thick that it was hard to get I couldn't use pins, so I was forced to go get some of those clips, and I do like them. But I don't have any alphabet clips, but I got the other little binder clips. There. Oops. Oh my gosh, that was this way. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that is incorrect, Mary. What am I doing here? Okay, that's right. That's right. Okay. Have this vertical one in the middle. So that'll have to go this way. Okay, two of those next to each other. Um, hmm. Yeah, I guess I was just late to the clip party, Sheila. I think it was just I've been using pins ever since I learned how to sew, which it's been like, so long ago when I was a kid. And it was just hard for me for me, I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I was fine with the pins. And I just didn't ever I didn't even really think about ever getting the clips. So that, you don't want to put those together. Okay. I do have to say one thing I don't like about this new desk is that I don't think I like to have my knee kind of extended when I'm pushing on the gas pedal. I don't have it like really close to me. It's kind of out of ways. And this desk has this lip underneath the bottom, so I can't push my foot pedal out as far as I would like to. So that is like one of my complaints about this desk because I like to have my knee a little bit further extended. I'll get used to it. Which way I said to press these. Oh, out. Okay. Everybody seems to like those clips. Oh, well, isn't that an interesting idea, Julianne, to put a board underneath here and then put the pedal on top of the board? Hmm. We'll have to think about that. I got to do something because it bothers me. If the table would raise, like if it came up just a little bit, but it's on casters, if those casters would like extend a little bit, that would have been like great. But that's not an option. It's funny because you don't think about these things until, you're at the store and you're like, oh, this is great. It fits all my needs. And then once you get it home and you start actually using stuff, you're like, My daughter's like, so you don't like the table? And I'm like, I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just that I didn't realize this and that. Now I just need to press and press seams toward end unit. Okay, so out. Be back at the machine in 2 shakes. Shoot. Okay. Those are done. Now I just have to make my middle units. And I think Kenny, you hate all the ironing? Yeah. Sometimes I get so hot 'cause I get the hot flashes and then I'm ironing in the steam and it just gets kind of crazy. So I have 9 of these background squares and so I need 18 or what, I'm sorry, yeah, total. Wait, these are going to go sideways. Did I do that the wrong direction? Oh, oh my gosh. See there? Oh. I tell you, I always get confused. And I even have in the pattern, make sure your squares are facing the right direction. Um, this shouldn't have done it like I did. I should have had the outer, the vertical strips were supposed to go on the outside and the horizontal strips were supposed to go on the outsides. And I did mine backwards. So I have that in the center, but I think it'll still be okay because I haven't done, let me just lay one out. I should still be fine. I'll just have to have them. It doesn't matter because once you get these done and you switch the blocks, like twist them, it should be the same. So let's just do a test. One, these two will go horizontal and then, so I can't believe I did that. And then that'll go this way. And it still works out because everything is still this way, that way, this way. Just can't believe I did that. Wasn't even paying attention. It was when I went to go add my last rail fence piece onto my block. I had it, did I have it facing wrong? I don't know what the heck I did, but I did it wrong. But it's still okay. It'll still work. Let me look at the, oh no, it's not going. Let me look at the, oh, you know what? Okay, I'm going to stop freaking out because when I look at my quilt that's on the wall, so when I look at the quilt that's on the wall, I started with up and down, or is that just the way? I think it'll still be okay. It'll still look fine. I'll just twist the blocks. But it's good as long as, yeah. So as long as I have the two centers that meet, the background meets here in this all together and not like that. So that works. Is that like a mistake on? Yeah, I think it works either direction because when you see the block here, they're going sideways, but when you twist the block, it's going up and down. So it's okay. I just wasn't paying attention. Here, 1, 2. Down. Yeah, we're problem solvers. We can make it work. And yes, a robot to do ironing would be something, something to see. This way, that way. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Seems like a 6. Yep, that works. 7, 8, 9. Okay, so down, down. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to sew this onto each of these. Oh, gosh, I feel so silly. Not even following the directions right for my own pattern. It's the stress. You guys, it's I was trying to do a good job for you and then I mess up. Yeah, a new design. It the way that the blocks work, you're just switching them from doing like a quarter turn each time. So it still works out. I just put the I'm just doing it opposite of what I put in the pattern, but it still works either way. So 9 of these. This is going to look really scrappy. Yeah, no matter how far along I get sewing with these tonight, I think I'm going to get all of these blocks finished. And then next week, hopefully, will be the last chapter in this sew in for this quilt. And I will have just be putting on sashing and then my borders, which will be lickety split. Hi, Linda. You're not on the late. You're not really late. It's okay. We're still going. So thanks for coming. I just look at these one last time because okay, all good. Get the green light to sew. Can you guys still not hear my sewing machine? Is it still muting the noise except for me talking? Because it's so loud. Oops. That one's too big. Now I just have to sew those on the other side. Everything is groovy. Just pair those together. Oh, nope, not that one. Gotta look at these a little bit more. Put that one that way. My sewing machine on its best behavior. Yeah. Last week, somebody said they couldn't hear my sewing machine at all. And somebody had said that YouTube blocks out the background noise when you're on a live. So that could have been why. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't realize that. This way. And also, it could be the streaming software could be doing that too. Let's see. We got three more. I want to make sure don't have the same blocks in them. This one, go with this. That's good. Here. Okay. That should be good. Cool. Let's put this one this way. Me It's not YouTube. Maybe it's my streaming software. Maybe it's picking up mostly. Um, yeah, maybe it's because I use OBS is the streaming software, so maybe that's got something to do with it. It has all these little mixers and things on here that I do not know how to use. I just, I mean, I watched videos on how to set everything up, and I just went with like what they said the defaults were. So maybe there's something in one of the settings that the sound settings that makes it do that. Very interesting. Like maybe it picks up whatever's closest or something. I don't know. Okay, time to iron this row, and then I can put my whole blocks together. Oh, I was calling you Kinley, and it's Kinney. I'm sorry. You asked if I ever quilted with my mid arm using rulers. Yeah, this machine. Yeah, I just did some little test, well, not test. I just kind of experiment when I don't have anything going on and I just really want to sew or do something creative. I'll just make a practice quilt sandwich and then I'll just start um, and just make something just random. And so what I did the other day was I made a bunch of random lines on there using the ruler, and then I was going to fill it in with free motion quilting stitches so it kind of looked like Zentangle or something. But this, this is what I did. I just made a bunch of random lines and then I was going to fill them in. And then I had an idea for my feathers and I left the ruler foot on there and I couldn't see. And so I thought I could do it. I could still see. And it was horrible. And my feathers looked like crap because I couldn't see that darn ruler foot is just too big. And my ruler foot doesn't have an opening in the front. So I had to rip out. And I usually never rip out free motion quilting ever, but it just looked horrible. And I had a vision of what I wanted to make, so I just went ahead and ripped it out. I have a lot of rulers, Kinley, but I don't do as much with them. I like accumulate them, but I'm not always using the rulers, and I like it. I just don't do a lot of ruler quilting, but it's something I want to do more of. Okay, let's lay out these blocks. So now I get to put the pieces together, the rows together, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to set out my middle row first. It's nice because there's only 9 of them. Then I'm going to match it with a top and a bottom. Oh, that's not gonna, yeah. So if I do that, oh, that's not gonna work. Don't have enough room for that. So I'll just start laying these out to where I'm not getting a lot of repeat. So that looks good. Then I'll lay out the next middle and then put the ones around that. There's a lot of this one. It's fine. Just gotta not think so hard. I just think way too hard when I'm doing Scrappy. I feel like I have a lot of the, oops, a lot of that dark orangey color really kind of stands out. But maybe it's just me. 1, 2. Oops, Mary, what are you doing? I'm just grabbing from piles randomly, and it's not making sense. I call those together. That's fine. Large one. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have enough of the teal. I don't know. I gotta just stop. Let it go. It's fine. That one. This later. To not get myself so confused, I think I'm going to sew one block, one complete block at a time. This one. There. Okay, I'm ready to stitch one whole block here. Everything's going the way it's supposed to go. So it's kind of nice having that bird's eye view and just looking at it from the camera. Makes it a lot easier to see if you made any mistakes, which not really. I am good to sew. Kinley, do you use rulers or were you thinking about using rulers? Nest these. Now that this is a little bit bigger, I'll pin. Don't usually pin unless I have to nest. And that's it. Everything lined up almost perfectly. That one was way too big. This goes this way. Oops. Yeah, this quilt comes together so fast, especially if you're sewing everything in the right direction. But the blocks are 18, 18 and a half inches. Oh, shoot, I didn't pin this one. Oh, well, it still lines up. So they're 18 and a half inches, so they're nice and big. So you don't have to make a whole lot of them to get a good sized quilt. Cool. All right, so there was the first one. Down in the middle, down in the two across. Yep, all good. Yeah, so when you put these together, like the first block is going to go vertical, horizontal, vertical, and then the next one you put next to it is switched, turned around a quarter turn so that everything is going to be opposite. So I was just in that one here. Ta-da! I just like how the simple blocks um, can look really cool. Just something so simple. And then with the sashing and everything, it just really makes it pop. Let's see. Not tell how that works. So bizarre. Oh well. Back over here. Okay. I am just going to keep on going here. I'm going to finish all 9 of these. On this piece, I actually have selvage right here from cutting, not paying attention to how far I cut the raw edges off when I lined up all of my pieces when I layered up all of my pieces together. And the nice part about this is once you get your rows, it doesn't matter after that which way you press because nothing is going to come up against it. You can press towards the inner block or towards the outer blocks. It doesn't really matter. Oh, you do a cross hatch design with your ruler, Kinley? Yeah. That looks so cool. The cross hatching. I don't know. It's just a fun design. It's a little uneven there. Tempted to do some chain piecing with these rows, but I'm too worried that I'll mix something up because that's how I do. Yeah, it is. It is an easy and forgiving pattern, Sheila. I like simple. Sometimes I'll do like my last quilt pattern that I designed. The Startastic was a little bit outside of my normal with all those half square triangles and all those colors, but I like simple. I like the traditional blocks. Big fan of just, you know, an Ohio star and 9 patches and simple. And I don't know if you looked in the back of your pattern, but the other thing I liked about this is that it's got, the 2-inch finished strips all around. So it's a good um, block to practice, some little border designs. And when you uh, get the pattern, I include a little ribbon candy worksheet. On mine, I did nothing but ribbon candy and stippling. So there's 2 worksheets that come with this that you can kind of trace over and get used to doing those 2 stitches if you're not familiar, or just it's just kind of fun to do something different in the strips. There's no rule on what you can or cannot add to your strips when you start free motion quilting, or, even all over design is fine. And when I quilt this one, I might just do an all over design. I don't know. I'll have to see. My go to all over free motion quilting design is spirals. I have a lot of quilts that are just spirals edge to edge. But you could probably even do, if you were wanting to make like a baby quilt out of this, you could do like, just make it smaller and do, ow, 4 blocks instead of 9, something like that. Let's see. There. Here. And I'm going to keep pinning these. It's lining up perfectly. So is this one so big? Floor. Oops. Also, I wish I had a separate cutting stand or a separate cutting table or a larger cutting table. I thought this would be perfect, but I have the large cutting mat and it'd be good if I could leave the leaf up all the time, but my room's too small to leave that up always. So I don't well, we just got to make do with the space that we have. I could keep wishing and wishing for something more, but I'm thankful for what I have. Oh, I think my bobbin ran out. There, this goes into here. Almost out of bobbin. Well, let's see how much more I can go. I was I wasn't talking. I was like talking in between my sewing. So oh, okay, I see you can hear now. Yeah. Light coming in using a specific paper ruler to do this. Am I using a Are you asking if I'm Oh, is there a specific ruler that I'm used to using? I have had the same um 5.5 inch or is it 6 inch ruler. I am not kidding you, since practically I started quilting. So I've had this for years and years. I like my favorite is yeah, this is 5 inch. So I have a 5 inch ruler that I use by 24, and I use that for most everything. When I'm cutting smaller strips, I have a 2.5 inch ruler that I really like too. So those are the two rulers that I use for cutting just my straight lines. I've got a couple, I have one pattern that calls for, I think it's a 45-degree triangle ruler um, to make diamonds. But other than that, I use those two specific rulers. But you can use any ruler, of course, when you're cutting, any ruler that's comfortable for you, that makes sense to you, and has all the lines on it that you can comfortably read. Sometimes there's so much stuff on a ruler, it's like, wait, what? It's a little wonky. But yeah, but no specific ruler is needed for this quilt, just the straight edge. I feel like I should just take the bobbin out because I know it's going to run out like any second. But then, don't want to waste that last bit of thread on here. Oh, this foot is driving me crazy. Or pedal. Oh, okay. I have two more to do. Yeehaw. I haven't cut my sashing strips yet. I just cut the 2.5 by width of fabric strips, but I haven't cut the 18.5 inch strips yet to go for the sashing. Oops. Hey. Second to last one to go. Oh, Carrie, you don't use the foot. You just use the. Oh, you use the button. Yes, or you could like do that knee thing. I forgot about the knee thing. The first machine that I learned to sew on was a Kenmore of my mom's, and it had the knee dealy. Okay, Julianne, I'll see you next Friday. Thanks for coming. Next Friday I'll be done. And then maybe after that I'll do a different kind of live with a Q&A type session or something. Oh, this one is really small. I gotta pin it. It's not gonna line up. Dang. What was I doing? I'm gonna keep going until I finish my last two blocks. So, ouch. And this, you can tell this is an easy pattern because I haven't even cussed. I haven't said one bad word, even though I sewed these back, the opposite direction. It all still worked out, but it's a good pattern when you're not having to swear. Easy pattern. This one, I like it. That. I got a lot of gingham in this one. And the second, that one too. Oh well, it is what it is. Be too perfect with matching up these scrap quilts. A little off. Right with this one a little bit because it wasn't quite nesting. I can't believe how much shorter. Oopsie. I was pulling this to stretch it to the end and then I pulled the seam apart. Don't think I'm going to make it with that bobbin. Let me see if I can just finish this last one. Then I'll call it quits till next week, but I'm finishing this. I'm still there. A little bit. I used to have chopsticks that I can use when I was, trying to get my seams to go the right way when I was sewing. And once I moved, I don't know what I did with the chopsticks. I'm going to have to go back to a restaurant to get some, order some on, I guess I could order some on Amazon or something, but I don't have a stiletto, so I use chopsticks. Oh, Carrie, yours isn't a knee thing. It's just a button that says start and stop. Hmm. Um, oh, on both your sewing and embroidery machine. That's cool. You can call it a mutton. That's okay. Yeah, Imogene, the quilt is just pretty with the two prints. I really like the black and gold that I did in the one that's on the cover, but I just had to try out what it was going to look like if I tried it scrappy. Linda, thank you. You're going to try to catch up with cutting and sewing, busy getting the house ready for the holiday. No problemo. I'm anxious to see it when it's finished too, Carrie. I don't usually make quilts more than once, but this one is just so darn easy. There's one quilt that I got one time off of Etsy years ago, and I love it. And it's just like a Ohio Star with a, is that like a 25 patch block in between? And it just was so cool, like just those two together. And I liked it so much. And back then I was making quilts and selling them on Etsy, and that was a popular one. So I made several, and I still have one. Uh-oh, bobbin's out. I have one that is like maroon, and I'm debating putting it because it's so big. I don't know if it's going to fit in my long arm because I only have an 8 foot frame, and it would be cutting it really super close. But then again, it's so big, I don't know that I want to do it on the sit down machine, but I'll figure it out. So meanwhile, it just basically it sits in the closet unfinished because I'm not sure how or which machine I want to use to start quilting it. But it's so pretty. I really like it. Okay, time for bobbin. I got a little bit more to go. Oopsie, wrong direction. Wait, gosh, I'm getting all turned around here. Coming out. Yeah. Oops, darn it. I Oh, did my last one not? I just want to make sure I didn't run out of the bobbin on that one. Nope, took it to the end. I got these pre-wound bobbins. I didn't used to do pre-wound because I thought it was like a cheating kind of way or something. But then once I started using them, I don't want to go back to winding bobbins. Um, Sheila, am I going to square up each block? Probably not. I'll probably just line them up. If I have one of them that looks like it's way short or something, I might give it a teeny bit of a trim, but otherwise I don't square up the blocks. Imogene, how do you decide whether to use the long arm or sit down machine for quilting? Um, Hi, Victoria from Australia. Thanks for being here. Imogene, I hmm, I need to start using my long arm more, and I'm trying to train myself to put stuff in there. If it's just like a lap size quilt, I don't mind quilting it on my I'm so used to quilting everything on my sit down machine anyway, and I've had that machine the longest. I've only had the long arm, less than, maybe it's been a year, but I haven't. Now that I say that out loud, I haven't used it. I haven't been forcing myself to use it as much as I should. So if I'm working on something small, I will always do it on my sit down machine. If I'm doing like thread painting or something intricate, I will do that on the sit down machine because I can see better and I can control I can control the quilt better with my hands than I can doing small quilting on the long arm. But if it's really big, if it's, like bigger than a little bigger than a lap size, I will do it on the machine. This Be Amazed quilt I did do on the long arm last time, but this time I think I might do it on my sit down machine. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, it's just a matter of what I'm most comfortable with when I'm quilting, and then that's the one I decide to go with. There's no right or wrong for me. It's just whichever one I feel like using. I know I can quilt faster on my sit down machine. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's like a quilt by quilt basis. But definitely, if it's small, I'm definitely always going to use my sit down machine. Okay. Last block completed. Now all I have to do is cut my sashing strips to 18.5 inches, and then I'll sew those in between each of the blocks, and then make one long strip that I will sew in between the rows to separate each row. So I'll have two long sashing strips, right? One, two, yeah, two long sashing strips with cornerstones, and then the rest of them are on the edges of the block. So yeah, so next week I could definitely get this finished because that's all I have to do is sew the rows together and then put on the borders. And like I say, I think that I might go ahead and just add, do like a strippy border all the way around. Like just cut 3.5 inch strips, sew them all together so that I have one long scrappy border for my outer border. I might change my mind before next week gets here, but that is the plan. If I knew that I could get some of this fabric at the fabric store and find one of them and just make a 3.5 inch border, I probably would, but I have so much fabric at home. I don't want to go buy more fabric just for this border, and it's scrappy anyway. So, all right. Oh my gosh, I keep feeling I gotta sneeze. I am going to call it there, you guys. Um, I think I answered all the questions. Let me know if you have any questions real quick before I stop the live. I do want to thank you all for being here. I know it was short notice because I didn't send an email out earlier, but my plan is to do Friday night lives with either sewing things or with like Q&As or different kind of discussions on different issues, mostly having to do with free motion quilting, since that's my jam. Thread tension, where to start quilting, all of that good stuff. So that is my plan. And I will be here next week at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, just like today. So thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, you can even put them in the chat after. I'll still see it. And I'll be able to answer any questions that you may have. Imogene says, thank you so much for going live. You are a great inspiration. Thank you, Imogene, for being here and for the nice compliment. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. I can see where I hit stop streaming.